Hi, and welcome to our Retired Nomad Adventures.
I'm Retired Rick.
And I'm Daphne, and we are a retired couple who sold everything to travel the world 1 month at a time with a $5,000 a month budget and with just a carry-on and a backpack. And this month we are in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And whenever we come to a new destination, we like to share with you our first impressions of that location. And so that's what today's video is about. We're going to share with you our thoughts on Siem Reap from just this initial first couple of weeks we've been here.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So we always like to start with how we got here. So we came here from Bangkok.
Correct.
We flew on Bangkok Air, which we've already sang their praises, but the flight from Bangkok to here was an hour and 10 minutes.
Hour and 10 minutes, and again, with that hour and 10 minutes, we had a full meal and a beverage service.
Yep, a full hot meal. I just like an hour and 10 minutes, so kudos.
We're just not used to that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So we're excited about that. And the total cost for our flight from Bangkok to here was $217?
I think 232.
232. Okay, so it was an easy hour and 10 minute flight, and we flew into the Siem Reap Airport. And the airport here is a new airport. They said they built it 1 year and 4 months ago, and we have never experienced anything like that.
When we landed, it was like a desert. We were the only plane there walking through the airport.
Empty.
It was empty. We were the only people there, and going through immigration and everything was super easy.
Yeah, we just breezed through because our flight was the only plane we saw as we were coming in. There were no planes that we saw that were there. When we walked into the airport, it was so quiet, so there was no line. It was just our plane that walked right up to the immigration window, the customs window, yeah, we breezed right through.
Yeah,
so easy
nice.
breezy. Not hard to find our baggage claim area. There's only one claim area where the baggage was coming out. When we went outside, there was someone there from our hotel. Our hotel had arranged transportation for us, so it was $35 one way from the Siem Reap Airport to our hotel, which is right in downtown Siem Reap, and that was about an hour away.
Right.
And I would recommend that if you are coming into the airport here, that you pre-arrange transportation. I think everywhere else it's super easy to just order a Grab, and you could probably order a Grab here also. They just didn't seem as readily available at the airport as we've seen them in other airports.
Right. And the other thing you need to do is get a visa to come into Cambodia. And with that visa, everything is online. And I think you can apply 3 months in advance. I think we applied 2.5 months or 3 months in advance.
We probably applied exactly 3 months in advance. We're kind of eager beavers when it comes to that kind of stuff. So we put whatever the timeline was, we probably applied like right when we could.
And which is great. They take your payment and then you're in a pending mode. And with us being in a pending mode, we were so far away. It said they will issue us our visa closer to our date. That was fine. Then we started getting nervous again because my visa came in about a week and a half before Daphne. So don't be worried. It comes in, and for us, for our two visas, it was $36 a piece.
Yeah, and the application process was really simple.
Very easy.
So it wasn't, we didn't need help or support with it. We thought we might, but it's super simple.
And on the visa application, it tells you to, once you're approved, to print out two copies of the visa, because you'll need one coming in and then you'll need one leaving the country. When we came in, we presented our printed copy and they just looked at it and gave it back to us. So I would still do 2 copies, but we only needed one so far. So
I mean, they looked at it.
Yeah,
we assumed they were going to take it since they told us we needed 2.
Yes.
But I would still do what they say, print 2.
But yeah, don't get nervous. It'll get to you before you leave. And it all works out.
Yeah. Okay. And so that was our process for arrival here. And like we said, the hotel arranged transportation for us. I would recommend, if you don't do that, that you do pre-order your Grab. Though. Okay, how about the currency here? This has been a welcome treat.
Yeah, the currency, I was worried about it because you have the Cambodian riel, which is 4,000 Cambodian riel to $1. So you're trying to figure out all this. How you can remember the rate, but when you get here, you find out that they use American dollars. So for the most part, you will use American dollars. You go to the ATM, you get American dollars out, you pay for things in American dollars.
And
but be
prices
aware,
are listed in American dollars.
They're listed both in Cambodian riel and American dollars, but just be aware that if you do pay for something that costs I don't know, $7. You might give them $10. You might get a couple dollars in American dollar and then the rest in real. They do it so quick that they know the conversion rate. They'll give you dollars and then they'll give you Cambodian reals. So,
and they're always right.
They're right.
They're always right. We haven't had any problem at all with the money. And it's also interesting because there are no coins here.
Right.
So you might get a bunch of bills back and think, what have they just given me? But those bills are like 5 cents, 10 cents.
Yeah,
there's no coins.
You have 100 Cambodian real bill and it's only like 2.5 cents or something.
So.
But just be aware of that. But your American dollar, that's what you pay with. Credit cards, for the most part, a lot of the restaurants take credit cards. You will be charged a 3% service or not transaction charge on it, but it's kind of 50-50 on who charges it and who doesn't charge it. But in reality, if your meal's only $20, it's only 60 cents. So it's a lot better to do the credit card than to keep going back to the ATM and getting money out.
And with that ATM, we will say that one thing that we do to make sure that we save a little bit of money is that we have a Charles Schwab bank card. And so we do we take out our money using that card because we get reimbursed any ATM fees at the end of the month. And the ATM fees are about $5.
About $5.
If you're going to take out $20 or $200, it's going to cost about $5. And if you have a card that reimburses those fees, that's the better way to go. So I would recommend that.
And we open that card up specifically for travels.
The next thing is accommodations. So we chose the Hari Residence Hotel and Spa, and it is a really beautiful hotel. We got it on booking.com, and really the reviews were fantastic. It's a little more expensive than some of the other places we looked at, but we thought we weren't sure what Cambodia was going to be like, and so we wanted to make sure we had some place that we felt comfortable coming back to. They have a beautiful rooftop pool, they have a gym, they have a spa, they have a front desk who are super helpful.
They have air conditioning.
Oh, well, the air conditioning is really key, and their air conditioning works really well. So how about if we, before we go on too much about it, let's take you on a tour of the hotel. So the nice thing about being in a hotel room is that we can take you on a tour rather quickly. So come on in. So starting off in the hotel room, we have a couple of nice robes. We have a safe, and they've even given us some house slippers, which is nice. This is a couch that we can use, or luggage, depending on whether or not we can see if they have luggage racks for us. The bed, we did a little test, feels nice and comfy. Nice big TV here. And then also it's nice to have this long desk for us to work on. And it looks like there's space enough for 2 chairs, and there is an additional chair out here on the patio. Look how nice this, we knew there was a patio, but I didn't realize that there was this hanging bed. So you know, if you've watched any of our videos, you know Rick's favorite thing is to have a patio. So he has a patio, and my favorite thing is to have a bathtub. And so there is a very nice bathtub here. And it looks like they're providing us with shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Now, an interesting thing that we've never used before is, I think we call this a wet shower. So we've never had this before where there are no doors closing the shower in. I'm assuming there's a slope and there's the drain there, and then of course that's the toilet in the closet there. All in all, it looks like it's a place we'll be comfortable for the next 22 nights. So we hope that was helpful in looking at the place that we're talking about. And the total cost for 22 nights was $1,345.
Yeah, that's not bad. And what that includes our breakfast every morning that we're here. And with that breakfast, it also, we were unaware of it. We didn't even think about it. It includes our iced Americano coffee. So
which is great because normally you get coffee with breakfast,
Yeah.
right? But they have a full service coffee bar, so you can
Yeah.
get kind of any specialty coffee you want. We're pretty basic with our iced
Yeah.
Americanos, but we sit and enjoy 2 of those each every morning with our breakfast. And you can have a full made-to-order breakfast, and then they also have a spread out.
Right.
So that's really nice. The pool is fantastic. We use the pool almost every day. We
Right.
go up and go for a quick swim. The weather here is very hot. So having the nice air-conditioned place and then also a pool to come to is really nice.
Yes.
So maybe we'll transition now into the weather. We knew that there was a wet and a dry season. We knew we wanted to be here in the dry season, and we knew that April and May are considered the hottest months here in Cambodia. What I didn't realize is that the shoulder month of March,
We're right at, to us, it's hot and humid here.
it's really...
So I can't imagine being
Here,
April,
yeah.
where they say it is bad.
So we're looking at most days, it's been about 97 degrees, 97, 98 degrees Fahrenheit. And we don't even know what the humidity is. We just know that we are
It's
like
sweaty.
we are drenched, and it's that's not something that's really bothered us before. I don't know. The sun feels angry and the humidity feels aggressive.
Yeah, I call it an angry heat. When we're walking, it just feels like the sun is just angrily beating down on you, and it really takes a toll on you as you're walking around. So just be aware of it.
Well, we've adjusted our
Yeah.
plans as a result of it. So now we go out in the morning, and then we get back in before it gets too bad, and then we go back out again in the evening. But it's tricky because most of the restaurants here are indoor-outdoor, not necessarily like fully enclosed air-conditioned restaurants. And so even when you're trying to sit down and enjoy a meal, sometimes you haven't cooled
Yeah.
down enough that you're actually able to enjoy the meal. So be aware of that, and maybe choose your months accordingly. We also look at the weather before we plan any of our excursions that we've gone on. Like
Right.
we've canceled and changed
yeah.
excursions based on the weather, just because we thought, oh goodness, we aren't going to be able to be out in that heat like that. So so the weather here is no joke. So it is nice to come back to some place that has
Yes.
wonderful air conditioning.
Yes.
Okay, how about transportation? So tuk-tuks here,
Tuk-tuks are readily available on every street, on every corner.
I've never seen
They'll-
as many.
No, they'll offer you rides. They're very cheap. They're very polite. They don't pressure you. If you need a tuk-tuk and you can't find one, I don't know what to tell you.
Your eyes are closed because they are everywhere. And like Rick was saying, like they don't pressure you. They're trying to make a living. So they do ask, do you want a tuk-tuk? And if you say, no, thank you, they say, okay, how about tomorrow? You say,
Which
sure,
time
maybe
tomorrow?
tomorrow. And you can get most anywhere in the city for about $1.
Yeah.
On our second day here, our hotel arranged a tuk-tuk for us to take us around so we could kind of get our bearings in the city. And he took us on basically a full city tour. He waited for us when we went into the
Right.
museum. He waited for us when we went into all the temples. Like he was with us for a good 4 or 5 hours, and that entire time was $16.
$16, yeah.
And I bet that was more expensive because we booked it through the hotel, and that felt
Right.
even like a really good deal.
Right.
So transportation is easy. You also see lots of people here on scooters, so lots of people rent scooters, and the scooter prices look like we are not renting scooters, but scooter prices look like they're $5 to $8 a day.
Right, and it even said that you can rent a scooter for a month for $60 to $100.
Yeah.
So-
And we've talked to people who are very happily riding their scooters. Not us, but and so I would say those are the 2 main modes of transportation would be either a tuk-tuk, and you can even order tuk-tuks through Grab here, which I haven't seen before. So if you go on the Grab app and you're in Siem Reap, the first choice that will come up is a tuk-tuk, and it's typically less expensive than a proper cab.
Yep.
All right, how about grocery stores? So there is a local grocery store down in the downtown heart of Siem Reap, and
Right.
it's the one that we use for our basic things. We don't get very much. We get breakfast provided, and then we typically will go out to eat for whatever our meal is. But the grocery store here, I would say, is not a 7-Eleven, so it's not a convenience store, although there are plenty of 7-Elevens.
Yes.
But it's not quite a full-service grocery store, so it's somewhere in between the
Like a little mini mart or something like that, but it has
Yeah.
everything that you would need.
Yeah. It's
So,
fine.
yeah.
It's fine. So my Diet Coke is, they're the smaller cans. Interestingly enough, they don't seem to have Coke Zero, Coke Light, or Diet Coke in a twist-off
Yeah.
bottle anywhere.
No.
And so they're the slimmer, smaller cans, but they're 50 cents each. A beer at the store is about $1.
$1. My 99-cent Arizona iced tea from the United States is $2.50 here. So there's some things that are a little more expensive and some things that are cheaper.
Yeah. Bottle of wine, you can get wine here for the cheapest bottle of wine is $7, and then you can go all the way up. There's plenty to choose from, and then the thing that you are hooked on at the store is cashews are a big business here, and so there's lots of cashew farms and cashew trees, and so we also get cashews there. A big bag of cashews for $5.
Yeah, $5, $6.
Yeah. So prices on things that are local are pretty inexpensive.
Yes.
So the reason we don't go to the grocery store or very much at all is because we really do dine out all the time. I said before that we get our breakfast provided, and then we've been trying to just have one meal so that we can actually really enjoy it. We found that we were having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we were never really hungry.
No.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to have breakfast a little bit later, dinner a little bit earlier, and that seems to work out because by the time we go to dinner, we're ready for dinner.
We're hungry. And then we've said, if we're hungry at any point, of course we can go out and get something, we can get a snack, but we haven't.
No.
So that's really worked out nice. And the cost for the restaurants or the eating out here is very inexpensive. So if you go to a local restaurant where the locals go, not sort of a touristy place, very easily for an appetizer, we typically get spring rolls, an appetizer, and then a meal each and a drink each is going to be anywhere from $10 to $15 at the high end.
And that's including the tip.
Yeah, including tip.
Yeah.
And then if you go to like Pub Street, to a more tourist place or a higher end restaurant, you're going to pay anywhere from 20 to 30?
18 to 30 is
Okay.
what we paid, and 30 being it was a really nice restaurant.
Yeah, we went to a nice Italian restaurant where they
It was
make
really
the pasta fresh there. It was delicious,
Okay.
but that was our most expensive, right? So that was 30, and I'd say so. You can easily eat out for very affordably.
And we haven't had a bad meal here yet, so
Well,
good.
that's the other thing that's been really surprising. I wasn't sure when you say Cambodian food, I didn't even know like what was it. And so I'll say I have a new favorite dish, and so it's the amok soup. And so I typically get like an amok fish soup when we go out, and I would compare it to sort of in the United States like a beef stew. Only it's a curry. It's a I don't know that it's a yellow curry, but it has the flavorings to me of like a yellow curry. It is so good and delicious, and every place has a slightly different variation on it. Whenever we're going out to eat, I tell Rick, I'm going to get something different than the amok, and I don't. I always end up getting same thing.
And the only reason we found out about it is when we were coming back from the airport to the hotel, we asked the driver, what should we eat here? Because we had no idea, and he says you have to try the amok.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
So we did, so thank you.
Yes, and then most dishes here are based, rice is sort of a staple of whatever the dish is, and so your favorite dishes have been like
fried rice with shrimp or something like that.
and then you also have gotten some really good grilled shrimp.
Yes.
Yeah. So fantastic food, and we weren't sure what to expect, especially coming from Thailand where the food is so flavorful and delicious. We have several restaurants we've gone back to a couple of times, and we have loved the food here.
Good flavor, not spicy like Thailand, but good flavor.
So something else we usually like to talk about when we come to a place is what is the personal care sort of like in that area. And in particular, Rick loves to get a good haircut. And he loves a good haircut even more when it's inexpensive. So I'll let you talk about your haircut.
I thought I was in heaven. Right across the street from our hotel, right at the entrance, you just go right across the street, you get a haircut for $3. How can you beat that? $3 haircut.
Yeah, we popped in like the second day, and you asked the guy how much. You just so he doesn't advertise or the price is not listed out. So we just popped in and figured we'd be in a couple of days, and so Rick just asked how much it was, and $3 for a haircut.
Yeah, so
and he did a great job.
I'm happy.
Yeah, so that's one area of personal care. Something else that we have really loved and been super surprised about is that there are as many places where you can get a spa treatment, so you can get a massage here just as easily as you could in Thailand.
Right.
So we weren't sure what to expect, but everywhere around the city there's all kinds of spa parlors or massage parlors, and you can get a very easily, kind of all day long, a full body 1 hour massage for $8 to $10.
Right.
Yeah. And then we both got a manicure and a pedicure. Rick is really turning into quite the spa person. So we both got a manicure and a pedicure. And it's important to note that the manicures and pedicures here are dry manicures and pedicures. But we both got a manicure pedicure for $10 each.
Right.
So that was
Yeah.
Try to do that in the United States.
No.
And then something else for personal care to note. So some things are very inexpensive, especially when you can get them sort of locally. One thing that was very inexpensive here, and I do talk about this in most of the videos, is I tend to go into the pharmacy to see if I can get my tretinoin. So this is the tretinoin, the size of it that I can get from the United States. And at Kaiser, I have a $10 copay for this one. And then in Thailand, I got this size for $6. And so you can see the difference between these two. They're the exact same thing, just this was $6. And then here in Cambodia, it's sort of in the middle of them, and this was only $2. So really great, inexpensive personal care. But then you can kind of juxtapose that with something as simple as, I've been having a really hard time getting body lotion. I've been super dry in Thailand and here, and I'm not sure. I think after some time now, I believe it's the water that somehow is making my skin really dry. I can write my name in my skin. So I've been really looking for some good lotion and haven't been able to find it. And I got some super basic lotion that I can get from home for like $8, but I paid $24 for it here. So there are some things that they have to import that are really expensive, and then anything that you can get that's local or that is easier for them to get, it's going to be very inexpensive here. So personal care can kind of be all over the place. And then one other thing with regard to personal care is laundry. So we're at a hotel again, and at this hotel they do provide laundry service, but it's a little bit of a higher end hotel, and so the laundry is a little expensive here. But also directly across the street from us is a laundry service.
Right.
And we took over, what did we take over yesterday? Five and a half pounds?
4.5 pounds.
4.5 pounds in it, and I took a pair of tennis shoes because I got them pretty muddy. So a pair of tennis shoes, and it'll be $6.50.
And the tennis shoes itself cost $2 because a little more expensive, but they come back nice and clean. Everything smells good, so that's amazing.
Yeah. So fantastic. Okay, so then what is there to do in Siem Reap? The main thing people do when they come here is they want to go visit Angkor Wat, which is the largest religious site in the world, I think. Beautiful, and so that is definitely something to do, and you can spread that out over 1, 2, 3, or even a week because there's so much to see and do there. But in the actual town of Siem Reap, you've got Pub Street that you can go out to at night. You've got all the night markets that are here. There are temples in the actual city, and there's all kinds of historical sites that you can visit also. There are plenty of day trips that you can take from Siem Reap, and we're not going to go into all of those or really much of those with you today because next week we'd like you to join us, and we've got an itinerary planned for you. So next week we'd like you to join us where we take you through what we think would be a perfect few days to a week in Siem Reap, especially if you're older, slow travelers like us.
Right.
So we hope today was helpful. If you're thinking about adding Siem Reap to your travel plans so that you kind of have a general idea of what it might be like, and we hope to see you next week. And until then,
bye.
Bye.